Are we yes, yeah, we are very close. We will round off our match committee after training today, and most of our training is pretty standard for travelling days. So we've got a travelling game, as you know. So once that takes place, we'll be able to wrap it up and make a decision. So it's either going to be Levi Casbolt or both, and Robbie Warnock, because we understand we're a little bit short in terms of tools in our side. So therefore, we know we've lost Cruiser for a few weeks. So whether we predict a dry ground, it's always a ground that recovers very well from rain anyway. So we might go a little bit taller. Oh no, he actually does pretty well in the ruck. He's a massive competitor. But you're talking about number one ruckman in the league. Cox has been that for a number of years, and he's as at round 3, he's statistically wise the number one ruckman in the competition. So we know that we're going to have a big job, and perhaps the best way to do that is multi-choice and multi-go. So it's very hard to lock one player in on a bloke like Cox, because he's so experienced and he's so good. It's been part of their success. But you can't just go tall because they're tall. You've got to have the quality to go tall. And if you've got quality players that can play tall, you do test the opposition. There's no question about that. Well, it's neither of those. It's neither frustrating. Is it concerning? It's only the fact that we have scored pretty well ourselves. We've been beaten by 30-odd points, average of, what's that, bit over, let's say 12 goals, 12 points. Our methodology of scoring is okay. Our defence-wise puts us at against 3 very good offensive sides. What we have to do is eliminate 5 to 10 minutes of concentration lapses that have cost us multiple goals at times when you get in front, lose control, get back, maybe lose control for another 5 or 6 minutes. The nature of the game is that you will do that. It's what you do in those, let's say 10 minutes. And 10 minutes is a long time. And I'm talking about probably 10 actual minutes, not game minutes. So it's what you do in that time. When you've lost control, how do you defend the ball? And that's something that we're growing into. And it may take the back line to be reorganised. It may take the midfield to be reorganised. It's not a time factor. It's just simply, I think it's probably more the case that we've had no consistency with our player group. I think we've played 28 or 29 players in 3 games. So, and one of the great things about football is if you've got a line that doesn't change, you have that consistency, and those little 5 to 10 minutes, they diminish because you have this feel for one another. Now, you can't help bad luck with injuries, but when you're continually changing the side and you're bringing in young and old and whatever the mix may be, you tend to lose that little bit of, it's knowledge of each other's game. Oh, well, that's a matter of medical opinion. I'm not going to get into medical opinion, but I'm not too sure when they're back, really. No, not for this week. No. The rule is good. It's a very valid rule. It's a rule that allows you the space to put someone up, but you don't have to be rushed into it. We've got 4 or 5 rookies. 1 or 2 are out injured, so they don't get a chance, really. So it's the other 4, and they can do a little bit over this next 3, 4, 5, maybe 8 weeks. We may not even instigate it, but the fact that it's available to us gives us a chance to look at Fraser Dale, who was pretty good through the NAB Cup, Jared Casher, who we've got playing pretty high standard football in the VFL, Andrew Collins, who has played league football, so we understand his capabilities. So we have got that availability. We're not at that stage where we need to press the button to put one of those up, but it's available to us. If we hadn't have done that, and we need it later on, it would have been too late, because you need that full 8 weeks. The nature of the AFL is you can't predict 1 week to the next. So it's no use looking at saying, are we going to win 3 games in a row? Are we going to win 4 games in a row? It's a week-to-week proposition.
But what was your expectation in your own mind?
I don't have a week-to-week expectation. I have a round 22 expectation that you are highly competitive for those 22 weeks. We've been very, very competitive for 3 weeks. I just want to be very, very competitive with my side in week 4. And if you were there beginning of the season and you heard me say that, you would have also heard me say process is far more important than result. Did I not say that? Good. So we've covered that one. No, can I just repeat that? It's not about win-loss. It's about process. When you analyse the process, the boys have just come out of a meeting. Do you think the last thing that I would say to them for a start off, and the last thing that would ever be coming from my lips is talking about a win? It's talking about the process. Someone mentioned about defence. It's not a matter of talking about what you score. It's about looking at the opposition and how do we eat into their game style. I know this is very generic, but we look at their strengths and we look at their weaknesses. And we look at a process of minute by minute, if you like, or contest by contest, as opposed to the full game. We don't go to Western Australia thinking about it's a 5:40 game, so let's say 8 o'clock finish. We look at 5:40 start. What's the situation? How do you handle it? They throw some player behind the ball. They say throw some player in front of the ball. It's the process. It'll always be the process. And when you look after the process, the results will look after themselves. When you people will love to go look at your scoreline. Let's look at it. We're 2 games out of the 8, or 1 game, but I don't even know what the ladder is. All right. So what's the big deal? It's are we playing good football? Yes, we are in patches. Are we playing good enough to beat our opponents? No, because we're not doing that for a full game. That's the absolute thing that we've got to look at, not the result of the football game. Supporters, they play to go to the game to watch us win. Win game 1 to game 22. That's the supporters. I can't help the supporters. All I can do is help the side. The supporters are there. We love the supporters. We want them. We want to get 50,000 members. We're zipping 3. What do you want me to do? Turn it around and ask the AFL, can they turn it into 3 and zip? No, it doesn't happen that way. It's got to be process driven. I will not be panicked. I will not be pressured by media, nor by supporters suggesting that we change the zip and 3 and go to the league and say, no, it's not fair. We will keep going, and we will turn this side from a zip and 3 side, and we'll continue to keep going on the process, and that will turn around for us. Well, I can criticise a number of players all over the competition. Mark, incidentally, I shouldn't be talking about our voting system, got one of our votes. We don't hand out votes.
Do you think it's been a bit unfair that people...
I've got no issue with what people have an opinion about. I don't hear it, because that's one part of football is supporter group, media and football. So we're all interlinked, but I don't go around hunting down what people say about our game.
It's sort of part of the territory that comes with being captain. There's just this extra focus on everything you do on the field.
Leadership has its price. That's the first thing I said to Mark when he took over the job, that the price is more exposure to I suppose the public through the media. It takes on a different role in regard to, I guess, inside the club, where before you would have been just one of the troops. Now you've got to make sure you make decisions, and some of those decisions aren't always that popular. So leadership has a massive price to pay, and Mark Murphy is all over that price and has, I think, delivered in spades. He's a young man who was, last year severely injured. He had to overcome that injury, still performed at a fantastic level, has had a operation post-season, so pre-season for us meant that he was behind the 8 ball going into January, and his progress from there on in has been outstanding as a leader and as also a player. They're a very good football side. Far from me to start looking at results, but the thing about West Coast is let's forget the win-loss ratio. Let's look at their team. They are a very, very good football side. They have every right to be thought of as a threat to the premiership, which they were last year, and I don't see anything changing this year, because any side that has players like we mentioned Cox, LaCroix coming back, he didn't play last year or hardly played last year. You've got Kennedy again, was not there all last year. Darling is just one of the best half forwards going around, and they're led by one of the best skippers in the competition in Glass, along with other players. They're a very, very good football side. I admire West Coast and I admire their team. No? Is there a hint of that?
No, just asking.
No, he won't play. He certainly won't play this weekend.
Thank you.
Good.